together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. God, everything is just not working today. It just does not want to work today. Just a little, I can always tell when everything's just a little off. It's weird because the world does that shit, man. You know, they change how things are done just to fucking keep you. Yeah, Ed Leisure, good to see you, dude. Just doing a little bit of sharing on the topic of disease. You know, I like breaking into that song. I don't find too many places where I can break into that song, so. But the word sharing kind of leads me into it. So, yeah, Mikey was a racist. Yeah. Talk about seeking emotional stability today. Yeah. Oh, things are getting crazy out there. Things are getting crazy out there. I'm going to tell you the one thing I do not do is I do not put out my political status. No. You know, I just don't know enough about politics to be able to get into any kind of debate. I vote based upon what I see the needs are, which is how I vote. I don't do Republican, Democrat, independent. I don't know all of them. Conservative, leftist. I don't know the difference between any of them, and I don't fucking care. So I don't. I just don't give a fuck. Yeah, well, that's exactly it, and exactly why I'm not going to talk about it. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have brought that up. I was just trying to use an example or something. Right? We're already kind of on the verge of religion here. So, yeah, forget I said anything. I just see a lot of people going back and forth, man. You know, just fucking stay friends. I have a friend. We're almost completely opposite, but we keep each other in our fucking lanes, man. Okay, we keep each other in our lanes, and that's what that relationship's about. We bicker often. She's a good friend. Good friend. I was using that. Can we stay in emotional stability during these times, man? It can get pretty. This is where feelings will override facts. And that's why it's hard for me because I will jump on the feeling train with you. I can't do that. It'll kill me. It'll kill me. There are some fights I will not fight. I would rather take the day and focus on what I'm doing for the homeless today than worry about some stupid jackass east of here. That doesn't matter to me. I know people are like, it's important. I know it is. So is my community. And the people that live in my community are more important. They're a priority in my life. And if you're not okay with that, then I don't know. Talk to your sponsor. Hey, Joyce. Joyce Fashion. Good to have Joyce Fashion home. It's so weird. Instagram is just weird. I don't use it much. I don't use much of this image. So let's get started. I usually wait till 3-minute mark, but we're like almost 5 minutes here. So welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. Instagram, you don't get to see a lot of things, but I'm also on Restream here. This is just an easy way for me to do this, get my word out. I don't do editing. This is raw. I don't do filters. But we do have fun here, and we learn. And we learn at the same time. Just kind of like, I share my experience, strength. That doesn't necessarily make it fact. It makes it fact in my life. But if you have a different experience, we want to hear about it. Okay, you're not arguing with me. Your experience is different. and people need to hear it. Well, Dion, my experience was a little different. Great, let's hear it. You're not calling me out. You're just saying mine was different, and people need to hear that, right? Yeah, that's why we're here. Good, good. I'm glad you're here. I don't even know you, but you know what? I love you. I do. I love everybody that comes here. I'm one of those love guys. I'm one of those love guys. Yeah. But I do a lot of service work. So therefore, what happens is I have these dividends at the end of the day. And most of it is love and joy and happiness. And what I get to do is give that away. Because I'm full. I don't need, so I have these dividends. What do I do with my dividends? Well, dividends, what is that? It's extra. Okay. So what you do is you take those and you give them away for nothing. What do we call that? We call it double downing. We call it double downing. All right, so we're going to be in the 12 by 12, it looks like. When we develop still more, we discover, okay, there it is. I'm going to start at the top of page 116. If you want to follow along, we're in the 12 by 12. My books are a little bit older. This is falling apart. I've been going live every day well, we're coming up on 6 years now. So my stuff is kind of worn out, which is a good sign, is it not? All right. As we made spiritual progress, we saw through these fallacies. And the fallacies they're talking about, we're in step 12 here, is kind of the world where people are stumbling over each other to get to bread. And you're over there just going, gosh, I wish those people would kind of treat each other a little bit better. Hi, Amber. Good to see you. I'm glad somebody found Restream because Instagram's beating you right now. Like it's some kind of competition. Well, pit Instagram against Facebook one day. I'm just kidding. It became clear that if we were to become emotionally secure among grown-up people, right? If we were to feel okay, I'm 53 and here I am trying to feel emotional and emotionally secure amongst grown-up people. Kind of a weird place to be, right? That isn't happening to me. But some people come into the program a little, even 25, you're supposed to be grown up. 30, you're supposed to be grown up. Okay. And here it is. We would have to put our lives on a give and take basis. See, we alcoholics are extremists. If you're in your first year of sobriety, just take. Just take. If you haven't done the 12 steps yet, just take. Your sponsor will give you opportunities to help other people, so don't worry about that. Your sponsor will help you with that. Okay? Do what you need to do to stay sober. Let's get you through. I want you to be fucking selfish as fuck until that obsession is lifted, because that's when you can do some real good, right? Now, I'm not saying that just because you're newer in the program, you can't help other people. Certainly you can, but you got to come first. If you're not coming first, then you can't do a give and take basis because you have nothing to give. You have to have something to give first, right? If you have 20 years, just take. Fuck you, leisure. All right. In my experience, being at 20 years, you should just take. Told you I have fun here. We would develop the sense of being in partnership or brotherhood with all those around us. Okay. I kind of want to go over the give and take thing a little bit, because it's also about relationships. Hi, Patricia. Good to see you. Good afternoon. Yeah, well, we're unique, but we're not terminally unique. But yes, we are. I'll get to that. Give 50%, take 50%. It's not always going to work that way. But, and people tend to argue with me I give 100%. Well, if you give 100%, then you're not taking, and then your partner's not going to feel appreciated because you're not taking while they're giving. And if both sides are giving 100%, nobody's taking it. Everybody feels unappreciated. And here comes couples therapy. That's exactly what happens. My wife and I are on a give and take basis. We do 50%. It took us a while to get there. Sometimes it's 70-30. Sometimes it's 60-40. Sometimes it's 90-10. But it switches. Just like us, we're not all sick on the same day. There are days I come here and I'm not doing all that well. Huh? And you help me out. You help me out. We saw that we would need to give constantly of ourselves without demand for repayment. Now, they didn't say you need to constantly give of yourself. It's the without payment part that they're talking about. Okay? Don't do it 100% of the time. Or your cup's going to be empty and it's going to hurt. It'll hurt because you're not emotionally balanced. You'll feel left out. You know, that's what happens to me when I don't stop and take. Ferris Bueller said it. Sometimes you just got to stop and I don't know exactly what he said, but you got to stop and, you know, smell the roses, see the world for what it is, man. And quite often it's pretty beautiful. I see a lot of beauty in the world when I go out. People really aren't that rude to me. They're pretty nice to me, man. So I don't understand all this shit that I see. People are, I go out in the world, I see the driving. When we persistently did this, we gradually found that people were attracted to us as never before. And even if they failed us, we could be understanding and not too seriously affected. Yeah. Because now, what are we working there? I'm working with a trust level. What's my trust level when it comes to humans? That you're human. That's it. I don't do, because anymore, I feel like is going to be an expectation. And what do expectations lead to? Yeah. So, you know, actually, I'll move on because otherwise, how many times we got to run that fucking microwave, man? When we develop still more, we discover the best possible source of emotional stability to be God Himself. My first successful relationship was God. That was my first successful relationship, was with God. So I'm going to base the rest of them off of that. I know. But Dion, we can't expect them to be like God. That's not it. That's not it. That's not the part. Has God ever messed up? I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, right here. We found that dependence upon His perfect justice, forgiveness, and love was healthy, and that would work where nothing else would. That's what it is. That's what it is. There's the key. His perfect justice, forgiveness, and love was healthy. Okay? Does it say forgiveness? It does say forgiveness right there. Okay? Justice, perfect justice. I love that. That's it. That's you changing your life. That's justice. Change behavior is justice. Forgiveness is an apology. Actually, it's given to someone. Oh, they failed in your mind, so you forgive them. Or was it a setup? I wonder, and I'm just kind of talking to myself, I don't think I have the power to forgive. Maybe I shouldn't have set them up in the first place. I'm just thinking ahead, right? Now, I'm not saying sometimes people don't do things to me, it happens all the time, but I do not expect forgiveness from them. I'm not expecting an amends from them. I'm already going to forgive them. It's already happened. You want to know why? Because I'm not the one that handles forgiveness. My higher power does that. God, please help me forgive them so I can move on and be a better person. Okay? I'd get into more of it, but it would sound way too religion-y. Yeah, no expectations. That's it. My trust level for humans is 0. Which gives you the freedom to be who you are. That's what I'm doing, is I'm loving you for who you are, including your snakes. I'm full of snakes too. So what? We're aware of them. Okay? If we really depended upon God, we very well couldn't play God to our fellows, nor would we feel the urge to wholly rely on human protection and care. Yeah, you won't do things like correct people. You ever been talking to somebody and they said something wrong, but you knew what they meant, but you corrected them anyway? Stop doing that. Yeah, that's passive aggressive. That's old behavior. That's prideful, egotistical. They knew they were wrong. You knew what they meant. Let them continue talking. Interrupt them so that you can insert the correctness. That's what they're talking about. That's pride. Oh, they must know better. According to who? You? You're not God. You'll thank me later. These were new attitudes that finally brought many of us inner strength. That's the deal here. You give up this other shit, and then what you get, these are the things that you get: perfect justice, forgiveness, love, peace, and inner strength that could not be deeply shaken by the shortcomings of others or by any calamity not of our own making. So, if we are getting caught up in bullshit in the calamity of the world, go watch out. I get it. I get it. Because there are people here that fight for things that are outside of the scope of AA that I absolutely agree with. So, like a cashless society. No, 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 no. That's the scariest fucking thing in the world. More convenience means less freedom. I will keep my cash and I'll keep my freedom. Thank you very fucking much. All right. See, we all have stuff, don't we? I didn't go off about presidents, but I'll go off about my money. You bet. That's my fucking money, motherfuckers. Touch my money. You know what you do? What happens when you touch my money? I hurt you. Don't fuck with my set. It's my one thing. Don't fuck with my shit. I don't fuck with your shit. You fuck with my shit, and I'm gonna get mad. Just ask the guy in a Rapo shelter who took my radio. I kicked his fucking ass, and I was like 110 pounds. He was close to 200. He like jumps on my back. I flipped him over, to kick the crap out of him, and then he was gone. Hey, Daryl, good to see you. Sorry, you showed up like right in the middle of a story that probably doesn't sound very healthy at all. But it was, I promise. All my life, I depended on people for my emotional needs and security, but today I cannot live that way anymore. You know, the grace of God does. Yeah, good point, Leisure. Freedom is fragile right now. It is. So isn't it nice to know that we have something in our lives that can help us work through those things? We can say our piece, we can give our opinions, but are we really going to be able to change the world? That's the hard part, you know. I want you to. I do. I if you're trying to improve the world, I'm I will lend you my strength. And I will hope it changes. I don't know enough. I'm not godly enough, or, I just don't know. So, but I know what's right. And I know there's a lot of things in this world that aren't right. Okay. But if I get my head in all of those, you know, find one or two things that you will fight for. Okay. But try not to go for that. Dion for president. Dude, I would fuck this world up. I would. Don't make me president. I have thought about running for mayor of Northland, though. I have. I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about running for a political. I don't know. Not right now. No. I'm talking a couple of years down the road here. By the grace of God, the grace. Let's look up grace. We're gonna do it. Got to get used to it. This is what we're going to be doing in the halfway house. I'm calling it a halfway house now, because it sounds more like what it is for some reason. That night I don't have to say silver living, right? But one of the things that we're going to be doing in there is we're going to be looking up every fucking word, because we needed these things all fit. And a lot of times, and I do this too, I just assume that they know what they're talking about. So I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to stop doing that. I know I'm a big book thumper, man. I know my stuff, but I don't know shit. That makes sense. Grace, mercy, forgiveness, compassion, generosity, love, goodwill, unmerited divine assistance, given man for his spiritual or moral revival or rebirth, reprieve, special favor. Oh, wow. Wow. It is so much. Doesn't it feel more? Doesn't the grace of God feel a little more powerful now? Now that you know, they just named off a bunch of gifts. Or as Patricia is putting it, blessings. Thank you, Patricia. Yeah. Yay. What have I been saying for weeks? You get gifts before you do anything. You are ahead on your gifts when it comes to God, just like your children are with you. Wow, I'm destroying that book. I have admitted, by the grace of God, I admitted my powerlessness over people, places, and things. I had been a real people addict. Wherever I went, there had to be someone who would pay some kind of attention to me. It was a kind of attitude that could only get worse, because the more I depended upon others and demanded attention, the less I received. Man, this is a balancing act for me. See, when I do this, like when I do this here, I feed off of you. I can feel your feelings. And when those feelings transfer to me, I get a little bit happier and God starts to come in. Okay. And I don't know half the shit I say here sometimes. I just do. Right. So, absolutely, Daryl. It was good to see you, brother. We're on a roll too, man. It's fun. It's fun. Figure one thing a day, right? One little thing a day. Nice and simple, right? Little baby steps. And it's gonna, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And Daryl and I are right now working with an elephant. That's almost done. All right. It was the kind of attitude, yeah. I love being the center of attention. That's why I like in-person meetings. I like the whole room, like, oh, that was great. I love it. I love it. I eat it up. I'm just going to say I do. I do. I love it. I stay humble. Thank you. Thank you. Because it's the grace of God. But the feeling I get, the enlightenment that I feel, I feel very, very light after I'm done. And I'll sit here and admit, it was my biggest defect, being the center of attention. It was one of them, okay? Now, I didn't know how to do things right, so how did I get attention? Well, bad attention's better than no attention, and that's how I grew up. But I always got the attention I wanted. So therefore, I continued doing what I was doing, and it was reinforced every time. I'd run away, my mom would get her birthday cake. I'd run away, and I'd get what I wanted every single time. See, I knew if I disappeared, there would be chaos. Even at 4 years old, I knew this. Isn't it weird being an alcoholic? I mean, you're even young and you're looking at people like, are you fucking stupid? Okay. But now we're patient, tolerant, kindliness, love, right? Because we know what it's like. We alcoholics know what it's like to be put to the side. That's why when you see injustice, it pisses you off. When you see injustice, you are not going to be happy about it. Is it Thursday? I'm sorry, but this is really bothering me. Yes. Okay. Got birthdays today. Okay. That's why I did that. Okay. I've given up believing that any human power can relieve me of that empty feeling. Oh, thank you. That's what it is. That big hole in the fucking stomach. Man, that hasn't been there for years. Thank you, God. God filled that up. Now, for a while there, it still felt like the other shoe was going to drop until I got used to what faith was. Till I had some trust. Okay. God's okay with building trust. He loves it. My higher power, you know what his love language is? Trust. I trust him more than I trust it more than I trust anything else in this world, including me. Even a collective of people. I will go to God before I say agree to that group of people, because I know that a group of people can sit down and make a wrong decision based off of popularity, because people don't want to speak up. They want to, we alcoholics are lonely. So therefore we want to be a part of, and sometimes we'll sacrifice the goodness of us to be a part of that. But then it turns out that these people didn't really love us in the first place. Although I may remain a fragile human being who needs to work AA steps through this particular principle for my personality, it is only a loving God who can give me inner peace and emotional stability. And it's true. Work on your spiritual malady first, and everything else will fall into place. That was my experience. And that's been the experience of millions of alcoholics. And I don't think they're wrong. So, all right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I hope we're a little bit more emotionally stable. You probably are compared to, yesterday. And that's what we do. We make progress. You're going to become better every day. And this is where time actually becomes your friend, right? So do it. Never be afraid to trust an unknown future to a known God. Absolutely. I have no idea what my future holds, but I know it's beautiful. I already know it. I don't need to worry about it because it's already perfect. It's perfect the way that it is, a day at a time. God's world is perfect the way it is. Maybe he wants it this way. Therefore, I shouldn't fucking argue. These are questions I have to ask myself. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Don't say anything else or I'll keep talking. All right. Told you I feed off of you guys. I love you. Peace out.